Meanwhile, there's a good deal of attention right now about not only how this is working out politically, because Donald Trump has been among those who have been saying TSA, Homeland Security, our nation's security officials in general, they're horrible, they're a disaster. But it gets to the bigger point of then who is good at coming in and fixing this. We have former President Obama fundraiser Don Peebles on growing signs it might not be Hillary Clinton, because right now Hillary Clinton, as you and I are saying, she faces a devil of a time from those Bernie Sanders supporters, lately of whom have been sort of pushing all of her fundraising initiatives, even the Clinton fundraising initiatives, working with her husband. How bad is this getting?
I think it's hurting her significantly. In fact, you can see the toll it took on her when the exit polls in West Virginia said more than a third of the Democrats voting for Bernie Sanders said that they would vote for Trump in the general election.
Well, a lot of that to do with her cold comments, right? That particularly irked Democrats.
But these are cumulative, too.
You
know, and so I think that she's in a tough fight. The fact is that she would not be ahead of Sanders if it were only states that she had a chance of carrying. She can't carry Texas. She can't carry Alabama. Can't carry South Carolina. So those states that she beat Sanders in are not Democratic states. So I think
but she's still, I know that the polls have narrowed, leads nationally, does well in the battleground states. There are a lot of Democrats who say whatever surge Trump is seeing is short-lived, that they'll pick him apart. You hear these stories when we get into this later on about newspapers sending whole SWAT teams out going after Donald Trump's background, that this hasn't even begun. What do you say to that?
Well, look, there's a lot of controversy about history on both sides of the spectrum here. I think everybody knows who Donald Trump is. I think they know his experience. I think a lot of people know about the past of the Clintons, but not everybody. The younger demographic doesn't know as well. But, you know, I think that there are some real issues in terms of, you know, who is going to win some of these tough states. I think Donald Trump will win Florida, for example. If you look, look at Rick Scott. Rick Scott was able to hold that state twice. He had significant controversy. He was subject to tremendous attacks about his business career.
Romney carry it.
Yeah, but right, no, but that's different. I think Florida is one of those swing states that are looking for real change. It's a very pro-business state. It's an entrepreneurial state, and so it is a state that would be very receptive.
Where's the passion on the Democratic side? Something you and I have gotten into, and you were mentioning as a friend of Barack Obama, that candidacy engendered great passion. What do you feel about the guy? Hillary Clinton's not so much. Once again, you know, good from afar, once in the race, far from good. Far from, like, awe-inspiring. And that is a problem for Democrats, right? Because they look at Bernie Sanders, say what you will, he's the only guy generating any enthusiasm.
Yeah, because he's challenging the status quo. And I think also what we're seeing is the country's most Americans are very frustrated, both on the left and the right. They feel that the game is rigged against them. And Sanders is articulating that. But I think it's hard to get excited about somebody who's been in politics for 30 years. I think the best thing she's got
Bernie
going.
Sanders has been a senator since the Civil War.
But no one's heard of him. And his message is a new contemporary message. I think it's
what's contemporary? As a Democrat, but a thinking one, as I always say about you. Jay Johnson is talking now at National Airport, talking about Homeland Security and how safe he's going to keep us. So we can sell that, guys. His lieutenants, I'm sure he's going to be echoing this. We need more money. We need more money. A lot of agencies are scrambling. We need more money. We need more money. Why is that always the default? More money.
Well, because by its very nature, the government, federal, state, and local governments are inefficient. They are not belt tighteners. They don't make tough choices.
Why give them more money if they're not efficiently using the money they're getting?
We shouldn't. We need to elect leaders, though, that are going to make tough choices on spending. We have to prioritize. Americans, we all have to prioritize in our personal lives about what we're going to spend money on, what we're not going to. As a country, we need to do the same thing. That's why people are resonating, or the message of a business person is resonating, you know, in national politics, just like it did in New York City with Mike Bloomberg. Tough decisions.
Well, they're saying that about you this time. A savvy business guy, well-connected, Democrat, friend of Barack Obama, not enthusiastic about the direction of the party, not enthusiastic about the direction of this Democratic mayor, that you're going to challenge him. You're all set to challenge him, are you?
I'm likely to challenge him. It's, you know, and because I just think that he's taken us in the wrong direction.
When are you going to make up your mind?
In the next month or two.
Really?
Yes.
What would be the tipping point for you? It's polling awfully right now. The way he's going now, he could be indicted.
Now, look, one of your commentators, Doug Schoen, is my pollster. I brought Doug on to poll for me. And Doug shows his race being a 4-point race in a general election with 54% of the voters having no idea who I am. And de Blasio at 40, me at 36. So I'm not concerned about...
They didn't know who de Blasio was 4 years ago.
And that was, by the way, and that polling took place in February, March, when his numbers were better. This is all about the business that I spent 35 years of my life building.
So
I need to make
like
sure
a social
it's in a
liberal, fiscal conservative type? In this city, you almost have to be.
Well, yeah, I'm definitely fiscally conservative. Also, I believe that the government needs to prioritize its resources. We have to cut taxes. We need to make New York more enticing for the business community to come and do business here and for people to start new businesses here or move here. And we have to do the basic job of a municipality, and that just isn't getting done. A progressive agenda is not the way you run a government. A progressive agenda is how you're an activist outside of City Hall protesting a single issue. But when it comes to governing, you govern based on management skills and based on setting a core priorities about your basic functions of what the government's job is and understanding that. And the job of the government is not to advocate for progressive issues. It's to provide municipal services for our city and to make our city livable and to provide jobs and economic opportunity and let the private sector do it by creating an environment conducive for that. And the Democratic leadership today is running businesses out of the city. GE Capital moved to Boston, and by the way, their bottom line went up 10% just on the tax savings alone.
What does that tell you when you leave to go to Boston? Leave to go to Massachusetts to get a tax break.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Well, that tells you how far we've gone here to the left.
All right. Don, always good seeing you. You're a good man. We'll watch closely. Don't announce on some other show.
Don't worry. I'll come here on Cavuto.
All right, there we go.